I'm just keeping it real.
So yeah, I did one semester. I freaking hated it.
But Missouri State, best thing I could say about Missouri State,
Hold on.
What?
Oh, I thought Olivia had woken up.
I got stationed in Missouri, so I couldn't even leave. And the closest school to where I was Missouri State. To be honest, I hated Missouri State for everything that it was.
If you guys can imagine, okay, I am from Maryland, the DMV, right, which is right outside of DC, Washington, DC. He is originally born in Haiti and then came to the US when he was around 8 years old and grew up in Florida, okay? So both of these places are very culturally diverse.
Strong-willed,
you know,
cool, chill.
And then we get to the middle of the Midwest, and it's a very small, it's like a big small town. Springfield, Missouri is like the third biggest city in Missouri, right behind Kansas City and St. Louis.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't want to say outright everyone there is racist, because that's not the case. There are really good people in Missouri. We have some lifelong friends in Missouri that, you know, will want to go see or want to have them to come down and visit us. It's just, there's no culture there. You haven't been exposed to it, therefore you are ignorant to it. That doesn't mean you're an ignorant person.
And boy,
that doesn't make you a racist person per se, but you know, going to Walmart, Latina, black, Haitian guy, people want to stare. People got stuff to say. Okay guys, we had to stop because I thought the rice on the stove was burning. So yeah, we were in Missouri from the summer of 2015 all the way until the summer of 2017, so 2 years.
And plus, I was doing ROTC there as well. So the point in time I was there, as long as I was doing ROTC, I was undeployable, so they couldn't deploy me anywhere. I couldn't leave. So I was kind of like stuck there anyway.
Yeah, we were stuck. I myself wasn't stuck, but we're a team, so we were stuck.
I was stuck.
And it was...
But it wasn't that bad. We had our own little place.
Mm-hmm.
It was a nice little house that we rented. It was a nice place. We loved art.
We had some very interesting roommates.
We love our little house. And
yeah, it was nice over there. It was the sense of independence we had of just being able to take care of ourselves and, you know, rent out a house. We got a cat and a dog throughout that time. I did one semester at Missouri State. I didn't like it, but I decided rather than get myself in debt and keep going until I figure out what I want to do, I just started to work. So I started off at Staples, and then I worked Staples for a couple months, and then I started working at this doctor's office, a chiropractor's office. And I worked there for almost a year, just shy of a year. So fast forward to the beginning of 2017, Stanley's in school, doing his ROTC and getting his bachelor's in behavioral health, psychology rather. And I'm working at the chiropractor's office. I was the receptionist. I was a glorified receptionist because I did so much more than what I was supposed to be doing. One day I wasn't feeling so good, and I decided to take a pregnancy test, and that came back negative. I was like, oh, okay, you know, my body, it's kind of weird, you know, my body isn't always in sync as it should be. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait a while, and then I took another pregnancy test because my period never came, and I was on birth control, but somewhere that birth control failed because that test came back positive.
We know where it fell, because your boy was, we didn't know is antibiotics fight off is a no-no with birth control because it does not work.
They cancel out each other.
They cancel out each other.
Whatever, you know, Olivia's here now, so.
That was a surprise to me. That was a surprise to her.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it did happen.
Stanley has always told me that if he ever did decide to do something where he could get a girl pregnant, it was because that was somebody he saw spending the rest of his life with. So he was not one of these, I don't want to say deadbeat dads that gets a girl pregnant and leaves, but you know, I knew when I found out I was pregnant, there were so many emotions that went rolling through my body, but being scared of him leaving was not one of them, because I knew he was in this for the long haul. So I found out I was pregnant. I told him, I called my dad and let him know. And then I was actually planning to go to Puerto Rico like 3 weeks from then, I think. So I went to the community center over there, the community health center, and I got a confirmed pregnancy test. And I asked them, I was like, is it okay for me to fly? And they're like, yeah, you know, it's fine. So I decided that I wanted to let my boss know at the chiropractor's office know that I was pregnant, because one, we were getting new scrubs and she was gonna be really pissed off if she had to buy me another size, because these were really expensive scrubs. They had like our names engraved in them with the jackets. Like, they were really cool. I'll put a picture in. And you know, she was gonna have to buy me a bigger size, obviously, because my belly's gonna get big. And then also I wanted to give her ample time's notice for when I needed to take maternity leave, so she would be able to have someone to cover my position until I returned. So those 3 weeks go by. I go to my trip in Puerto Rico. I'm in Puerto Rico, and keep in mind I had to leave a couple days early so I'd be able to make it back to work. And I get this text while I'm on the way to the airport, and it's a group text with some of my coworkers and my boss, and it says that this new girl is starting her position tomorrow. And in my mind, I'm like, we don't really need a new person. I mean, there were only 3 of us working there. Everything was covered. I was coming back, you know. I'm like, why is this new girl starting? I'm a bit confused. So I privately messaged both my manager and my boss. My manager says, no, your job is not in jeopardy. And my boss says, no, everything is fine. You know, we're just bringing her on to help you guys, because we were a little bit swamped. So a 4th hand would have been helpful, but not a full-time, just part-time. I was like, okay, cool. I get to work the next day, and she calls me to the back and she says, Sophia, you know, I think you've outgrown your position here. And, you know, I think it's best for you to grow somewhere else. So basically, she let me go. And now, she never outright told me it was because of my pregnancy, because I had told her I was pregnant.
But you could guess, though.
But like,
she was the best employee they ever had there.
She didn't realize how much work I did for them.
Oh, she did. I'm pretty sure she did. Everybody did. Everybody said it. Every time I'm there, they say it. They realize, I'm pretty sure the only reason why is just they just didn't want to pay you for maternity leave.
They didn't want to, I don't know if they didn't want to give me maternity leave, or it was a little bit of spite because of her past and her journey to have kids, you know, whatever that was. But I felt really betrayed, and I started crying, and she wouldn't even let me go back up front to say goodbye to everyone or to collect my thing.
What's funny about it, because like most of the customers were like longtime friends with her, you know what I mean?
Most of our patients were like, you know, I knew them on a first name basis. I didn't even have to look at the computer to see, you know, what their name was to check them in.
So,
they walked in the door, I said, hello, so-and-so.
So being a small town, we meet the customers.
Yeah, we see the patients in our daily life, our daily goings, going to the grocery store, gas station.
Finally, we got to, probably a few days later, we went to Walmart, and it was one of the customers, and she was giving Sophia the cold shoulder.
Yeah, she was acting like she had heard something about me, and I'm like, what changed?
Right? Because they were tight. Like, most customers were tight with her. So.
Yeah, I went up to them. I was like, hey, how you doing? You know, I haven't seen you. I just wanted to let you know that I'm not working there anymore. And they both told me that, wow, that's really what happened, because the doctor was telling everyone that I had gotten pregnant and ran off with Stanley and just left the job and left them hanging. And that's when I kind of exploded. I was like, oh no, she isn't. Oh no, they aren't. Telling all these lies about me. You know, just to make it seem like they're not the bad people. Because if I were to tell my side of the story, you know, I don't know how much more coincidental you can get to me telling you I'm pregnant to 2 weeks later you letting me go because I had outgrown my position when I was doing perfectly fine in the first place. Like, what? That turned out to be a blessing in disguise, because when you see someone's true colors, you're thankful, because I wouldn't have wanted to be in such a toxic environment during my pregnancy.
Yeah.
And both Stanley and my father helped me to see that, because I was just so full of rage.
True.
So full of rage. So that happened in April. So I was like a month pregnant. So I didn't have a job until like June. And I worked at this telecommunications company where I made some good friends for about a month and a half. And Stanley was still in school.
That was a good job.
That was a good job. Like, I let my supervisor know that I was pregnant, that I might be moving, and he's like, you know what? Come here, hustle, make all the money you can, and do what you do until you need to do something else.
So seriously, after that situation happened, we were decided that, at least with me, I felt like everything that was happening with the military, even though I was stuck there, I have a way out where I could just, kind of just leave. I just had to give up my contract and give up everything I did. But I didn't want to have her in that situation.
And I mean, we didn't want to bring a baby into the world in Missouri where neither him or myself have any family.
And plus in reality, we weren't happy there.
No, we weren't. So it was like the perfect recipe for us to...
Oh, there's more recipe.
Oh yeah, there's more. Wait.
Boy, there's more recipe.
So that's the turmoil I went through in Missouri. That's probably the worst thing that happened to me there. Just like, having all these false lies started, and just being treated really badly overall. But Stanley, he got something that you never think it's gonna happen to you
until it happens to you.
Until it happens to you.
Yeah.